Sometimes we have to think about matter and energy and the difference between things and concepts, especially when thinking about our own existence. Do we feel about ourselves that we are physical, material lumps moving around? Or do we think of ourselves as a concept? A concept that uses the physical body as a form of transport, basically. But do we think of our... And this is the basic question of... One of the very basic questions of just about every religion is this question of people use the word spirituality. To understand what is the difference between our physical existence and our spiritual existence. And spirit can mean just mean mental. Just your thoughts. You can use the word spirit to define just your self concept and thoughts and identity and ego. And is that physical, or do you just think of the brain? In other words, here's a computer. Do you think of the information on the computer as the physical computer, the physical material of the computer itself, or do you think of the physical material of the computer as the necessary machinery that contains the information? And there's your basic distinction between spirituality and materialism. If we didn't believe in any kind of spirituality, if we thought that everything was merely material, then a computer would be a very dull invention, because it's just a block of thing that just sits there and does essentially nothing. We would think, okay, an automobile is kind of interesting because it moves, and anything that moves, but a computer just sits there. If all that we consider valid and significant was material. But we consider computers among the most valuable products of our species at this time, because the computer is all about information, knowledge, thoughts, ideas. And those are not material, physical things. Those are things that exist within those are things that exist within the physical material of the machinery, in the same way that a fish exists within the water of a fish tank. But but it's the movement of anyhow, maybe not the best analogy, but anyhow, it's not the tank. When we have a fish tank, it's not really for the tank that we have the fish tank. It's for the fish. It's in order to hold the fish and to support the fish being able to live, is the reason we have the fish tank. And the reason we have the computers is for the information and knowledge that's on it. And that's not physical and material. The same way with human beings. Do we think, is our self-concept, when you wake up and you think about what you're going to do that day, are you thinking, well, I'm going to have to drag my body over here and then make my brain send signals to my muscles so that I will move and drag my body over there and do this and do that with my body? I don't think we think of that way. We think of what we want. We think, well, what's over there? Well, over there is the bank. I'm going to go to the bank, get the money. And you're thinking about numbers. Money is numbers, concepts. You're not thinking about, I'm going to drag one foot after the other. I'm going to hold out my arm and pick up these coins and pieces of paper and feel how much they weigh. That's not what you're thinking about. You're thinking about the concept. So how much are we, what we think of ourselves as, how much Are we conceptual? How much is your self-identity and thought of your whole existence that you're a character, you're like a drawing, a cartoon character that exists as an image and a concept, but not really with physical reality, physical substance. You watch a cartoon and you're just watching the concept of these people. They have no physical substance. And how much do we really think of ourselves in that way? I think most of the time we do. When, we're thinking about time, when a moment is past, when we're thinking about a moment to come, we're not thinking about dragging our body here and there. We're thinking about, okay, I'm just going to sort of float from here to there. My body will do the floating for me. But I think about the route that I will be taking. I don't think about the forcing my muscles to lift up and down, back and forth to get me there. You think about just the route and let the body do the mechanisms of it on its own without your deliberate conscious thoughts about it. I don't know why this microphone is making these silly noises. I think it's because of the wires. Somewhere the wire is doing this. You see how easy it is to have your train of thought interrupted and distracted, and then you're not sure where you were going to go with your thoughts. Or whether you just should quit. Oh yeah. So you think about where you're going to go, and then you do it. And then while you're going from here to there, you're still, if your body's healthy, not really having to be conscious of your physical sensations for the most part. You're just feeling yourself floating with the aid of your body from one place to the next. It's still conceptual, and then after it's done, the physical sensations just don't exist except as a memory. In rare percentage of the time, we might have a memory of a physical sensation, like cutting yourself or falling or something. But most of the time, once the time has passed, the whole experience is no longer physical. It's simply all mental. It's the memory of where you went, not the memory of how heavy things were. I'm going to stop because of this microphone again.